Chelsea, thank you. The mayor of Baltimore announces the first case of coronavirus in the city. The patient is a man in his 60s. Jack Young says Baltimore has prepared for this possibility, and the Department of Health is investigating. There are now 26 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Maryland. And this morning, we're learning more about the impact it's having on our community. Maryland casinos say they'll start cutting customer interaction on the gaming floor. This picture shows a sign of the entrance of a live casino. It asks if you're not feeling well to come back when you do. Starting tomorrow, 5 casinos across Maryland will get rid of chairs at some of the slot machines and table games to reduce the amount of customers by 50%. Live Casino also says they're having people stay home when they are at risk, including a handful of dealers who were sent home out of an abundance of caution. Plus, we've also learned the Archdiocese of Baltimore is canceling all public masses until further notice. WJZ.
Good morning. The Archbishop says he consulted with healthcare professionals before postponing masses. There's a sign outside the basilica that reads, "Mary, Mother of the Sick, pray for us." Some people were still out and about at the Inner Harbor as Baltimore recorded its first case of the new coronavirus, something the mayor said repeatedly over the past week the city was prepared to handle.
The coronavirus is our top priority. We will prioritize the health and safety of our residents.
Baltimore City firefighters now have protective gear to handle patients, and signs outside of Baltimore's Basilica tell parishioners masses have been canceled. The Archdiocese of Baltimore postponed all masses until further notice. Archbishop Laurie said, "I take this step with great sadness, but also with wholehearted determination that we continue to provide for the spiritual well-being of the faithful at a time when their faith is most needed."
The fact that we're finding bipartisan agreement to move on this crisis is critically important.
Governor Hogan signed an executive order to provide child care to healthcare workers and law enforcement as the number of cases in Maryland surged by more than 25% in 24 hours, including a new case in Harford County. Some good news, Maryland's first 3 positive coronavirus patients, Montgomery County residents who contracted the disease on a Nile River cruise, have already recovered.
And have been cleared to return back to their normal daily life schedules.
It's funny because my parents are such seasoned travelers.
Jolene Atkins spoke to us on FaceTime. She's concerned about her elderly parents, Dottie and Ed, from Ocean City.
The bigger concern is what happens when they actually get back to the U.S. What do we do then? How do we really get them home?
While they're healthy right now, they've been stuck on the Norwegian Jewel in the South Pacific, banned from docking at ports in New Zealand and Fiji.
What is supposed to happen next? We really don't know.
Mass will be live streamed. Reporting from the Baltimore Basilica, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Governor Larry Hogan announced new measures designed for first responders and critical personnel who need child care services. He issued an emergency order yesterday to allow the state to suspend a number of child care regulations as long as they don't endanger anyone's health or safety. This means private properties can be used to watch children, and family and friends will be able to offer in-care home for up to 5 unrelated kids. The governor ordered all public schools to close until March 27th. Well, negative. President Trump does not have the coronavirus. His doctor made the announcement last night after receiving the results. There were hundreds of more cases of coronavirus infections reported in the U.S. yesterday, bringing the count to nearly 2,800. Michael George reports for WJZ.
The Spanish Prime Minister's wife is the latest high-profile patient to test positive for coronavirus.
Thank you very much.
President Trump was also tested for coronavirus, and the White House says it was negative. Saturday, he made the decision to expand his European travel ban to include the UK and Ireland.
These restrictions bar travel for certain foreign nationals who have been present in the UK or Ireland in the past 14 days. And again, that goes effective midnight Monday.
Vice President Pence wouldn't rule out the possibility of a domestic travel ban here.
We're considering a broad range of measures, but no decisions have been made yet.
The Trump administration is calling on Americans to educate themselves to slow the spread.
If we are complacent, selfish, uninformed, if we spread fear and distrust and misinformation, this situation will last longer and more people will be hurt.
Millions of Americans are already staying home from work and school, and grocery store shelves have been wiped out as people stock up their pantries.
Even if it proves that it was unnecessary, it's still prudent.
The Trump administration says it's doing what it can to make coronavirus test kits more readily available to help identify people already infected. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
As the number of coronavirus cases continues to climb, people are forced to make changes to their everyday life. But as I found out, they're more than willing to do so to help keep themselves and others safe.
Pretend like he's still there. Hold your abs tight.
Fears of the coronavirus isn't slowing things down at Jazzercise Lutherville.
4, 3, 2, 1.
With the aerobic, exercise, and dance fitness class still drawing people for a workout.
Step right, hold it.
They need a release.
Step slide.
So this is the release, so I'm going to stay open as long as I can.
Keep working at the intensity.
But owner Joyce Cardwell says they have made a few changes.
We did decide to no longer use mats, weights, or tubes. Even though you wipe things down, you assume everybody's doing that.
Those who choose to skip the gym still making minor alterations to their everyday routine.
We're just preparing to kind of stay at home and go out less.
It's a similar story for Kathleen McDonald, who says she's opting for a night in instead of going out to dinner, although she was forced to make a few changes to what she'll be preparing.
I had no trouble buying fresh food, which is what I really want to buy, but no pasta, no dried beans, very few canned vegetables.
Mother of two, Alana Shanahan, is dealing with the news that local schools will be closed for at least 2 weeks.
But I have to say, just the technology in the house, we've been thinking about how do we find different locations for them so they're not distracted by one another during the school day.
Muscle.
But whether it's organizing an at-home classroom, changing up a menu, or altering a workout, they're changes most people we spoke with are willing to make to help keep themselves and others safe.
You're keeping those heart rates up there?
And you can stay with WJZ as we continue to follow the coronavirus pandemic both here and across the country. We have all the information you need about canceled events posted now at WJZ.com.